Welcome back to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Josh Hardy, and today we have a different type of show covering a topic that I don't think we've ever talked about on Concord TV, and that's e-gaming and streaming. And my challenge, being director of Concord TV is to look at new technology and try to introduce that and keep up with the latest trends, but to do it in a way that also is applicable and relevant to Concord residents. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to bring in sort of an expert in the field who also happens to be a Concord resident, well known in the community. So we invited in Matt Newton, who he has a very popular streaming channel he calls Newt2Newt, where he streams almost every day to Twitch and to Facebook. And he tells us a little bit more about what goes into it, how to host, what kind of technology you need. And he and I actually play a couple rounds. So I had a ton of fun. I learned a lot. And that down the road, maybe this would be opportunities for us to have workshops or youth camps that are based around this kind of e-gaming or streaming media. So who knows what the future holds, but all I know is this interview was really fun, and we've never done anything like it on Concord TV. So I hope you enjoy. I would love your feedback. If you're a family watching or a parent and this sort of catches your interest, let's talk about it. So let me know and enjoy. What got you into doing this? Where did this all kind of begin? If you could bring us back to the start, sort of.
Yeah.
How did it all begin?
Well, I've been playing video games off and on throughout the decades, and on the recent cool down when I wasn't playing, my son started really getting into this game called Fortnite, and so he pointed me in the direction of some streamers, and we started watching Twitch, Facebook gaming, just watching a variety of different streamers play, and I got interested in the game, and then I started playing on mobile with the kids. My boy's birthday came around, and he got an Xbox, and so I started joining in with that. And then it got to a point where I was like, I really like watching streamers do this. I want to give this a try. It's sort of my wheelhouse. What I learned from streamers is that you can enjoy playing video games, and you can also be sort of your own radio or TV host. And my background is in film and TV and radio. And I'm like, I could do this. This could be fun, just kind of doing this stuff. And so I really wanted to get back to my background. It was in the 90s, was playing on PC, like all these big games like Doom and Duke Nukem and all them. It was always PC, mouse and keyboard. So I was like, I want to get into this. How about I buy myself a nice little entry-level gaming PC so I can play Fortnite with my kids on a PC, and maybe even dabble a stream or two just to see how it goes without investing a whole lot of equipment into it. So I went to Best Buy, got myself a $950 computer, sort of the basic entry-level gaming stuff. And 2 years later, I still have the same setup, and it's been amazing because it was a very small investment to try it out, but I've been enjoying the gaming as well as the streaming. It's funny when you talk about like the beginnings of all this, I've heard a lot over the past couple of years streaming from people that are like, I don't understand why people will like watching other people play video games. And I tell people, this is something that I did growing up in the 80s. And what they don't get is, while we have this new technology to watch people play games, I and others were going to arcades, standing over the shoulders of people playing video games. And we were watching them play.
So it's been going on for such a long time, just in a different medium, a different format.
Exactly. And so I still enjoy watching other people play video games just as I did in the arcades in the 80s. And so for me, it's just a natural transition. I love it because you can create your own show, basically. And I have people that tune in on a daily basis to watch this show.
And it's funny you mentioned kind of the traditional media, because you do, from when I've watched your stream, It's very much like a radio host, but you're so engaging, like you're mentioning every person who's jumping onto the stream and saying, "Hey, thanks," like acknowledging people, personalizing it. It's like radio, but on the spot. You can recognize people, call them out, shout out that. It's
Exactly.
just so interactive. But I totally get that vibe of a new age radio host kind of
Yeah.
from you, which is
Yeah,
cool.
it's sort of like a radio talk show, on acid, because it's like a radio talk show, it used to be like one caller at a time kind of thing, and you interact with that caller as you go. Here, there's this free-flowing chat, and you're always engaging with that chat. So at any given time, you're responding to somebody, answering questions, talking about things. The conversation is very free-flowing, and all the while, you're playing a video game. Now, you mentioned as we started, like, I don't know how I'm going to play host and do this. That's actually something you learn as a streamer, just learning how to play the game. And part of it is, one of the rules of this is you always need to be engaging with your audience. Yes, people like to watch the gameplay, but if you're not talking to them, then they tend to move on. So you always need to be talking, even if that means if you don't have anything to say. Are you shooting the Clark Kent down there? Oh my god.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. What's the deal with the Clark?
No, you're supposed to leave him alone, but otherwise he'll get mad at you.
Well, he got very mad at me. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I saw the footsteps and I thought that was
a guy. Yeah, there's a lot of NPCs in here now. And so even if you don't know what you're talking about, like if you're not having a deep conversation, you could do like just narrate your video game. Why you're doing this, or why you're rotating this way, or what's your game plan. That kind of. So there's always opportunity to just be engaging. Here, I got some.
Thank you very much. Pop those.
There's a fence toward the back of the farm that's got cabbages. You can consume those now for extra health.
Oh, see? Stuff that I would have known if I kept up. But yeah, so the fact that you're talking, you're engaging with an audience. So to your audience, they don't care as much if you win necessarily. I mean, they want to see.
They cheer you on, and it's great if you do win. But honestly,
even just place,
my stream, I've made it sort of a thing where losing is just as important. We do something on my stream called a lobby streak. How many times I get sent back to the lobby during stream. And so people like the fact that I poke fun at that and sort of embrace that you can lose in a game. So you just kind of put a spin on it. That's what you got to do too as a streamer, is sort of find your voice and what works best for you.
Yep.
And that you can make content out.
And then what would you're also a parent too, so in terms of, if there's other parents who are considering their kids getting into e-gaming and streaming, and how do you weigh those things in terms of, kind of making sure that it's a mentally healthy, safe place to be?
The best way to be involved with them is to play with them. And so you just, are engaged in their gameplay, engaged in their stream. You can have moderators in your stream that sort of police things. And if there are bad comments in there, you can ban and get rid of those comments. And if you have a child that's doing this, one of the best moderators is you as a parent.
Yep.
So here, do you need a med?
I'm at like 83, so yeah,
Here,
if we have time
that.
to heal up, yeah.
We're gonna have another long run here, so we'll probably just get.
So we'll just get moving. Yep. That I remember from playing before. Yeah, that losing track of when the storm's closing on you. Even though this game's been around for quite a few years, that's still an interesting dynamic in the battle royale. The shrinking of the playing
zone,
space, of the zone, and how you have to keep moving. That's frequently I remember just not paying attention to that, not noticing it, and getting caught up. So.
Yeah, and my kids are involved in the stream, and sometimes the kids will play on the stream.
Yep.
And
but that's awesome.
It's a family thing,
So it totally can be full family involvement, and the fact that there's those of us in all the different age groups and demographics who like playing games.
To get an ideal setup to do this, you need the PC, obviously. Something with a decent graphics card, because you're going to be doing not only playing video games, but you're processing video. So for your stream, and so you got to make sure it can handle that.
Yep.
16 gigs of RAM always works. A half decent graphics card. Mine's pretty entry level, and it works just fine. Then you'll want to have, obviously, your main gaming display to play your game, and then a secondary display, which can be pretty inexpensive for your stream and your chat, like that, and maybe a light, and then you need a microphone and a webcam, and that's basically it.
And then you can sort of upgrade things as you go. Like those could make good birthday presents or holiday gifts that you could just sort of piecemeal kind of upgrade one piece after the other. And
even if you're streaming your gameplay, you don't necessarily need a webcam right away. You just need a microphone, and that's usually on your headset. And they won't see your face. And sometimes parents prefer it that way. Sometimes parents don't want their kids' faces to be seen, but they can still stream and do their gameplay and talk to chat. And I'm used to doing call-outs. And
no, keep doing call-outs. No, absolutely.
He's up at the zip line right there. Okay, one knocked. He's going for the res. He's over the hill. He's over the hill right now. He's going to try to get that res off.
I might be shooting at an alien. I can't tell now.
No, that's a real dude.
Got him.
Yeah, and I found that as a parent, just playing the game, whether or not you're streaming, staying involved in what kids are up to.
Yeah,
it's the best way to kind of police who they're playing things with and how long they're doing it, what kind of screen time. They're getting it, because you're doing it. Yeah, this is nice.
So you can relate to what they're doing. And
exactly.
Participating in. There's the chicken with the alien head. So this is. I definitely underestimated the factor of kind of the job you do of having to host and play at the same time. But you're saying, like, your priority, if you had to choose between being a better player or being a better host, in this case you choose being a better host every single time, right?
Every time.
Yep.
Yeah. Watch it. Let's go snipe. I'm gonna move down. You can stay there on the top.
Yeah. I'll try not to peek too much.
I'm gonna get another angle on this guy. Except I got animals running after me.
Only in Fortnite can you have the animals chasing you. All right, taking shots from up top. Didn't get hit though. Taking damage. So I lost shield. Took my wall down. Fortunately, I don't have mats, so I can't jump up or ramp up.
Let's go.
Hey,
let's go.
What a debut. All right.
That's what we're doing.
The first one didn't count. All right. All right. Well,
let's
you definitely
go back to
carried
lobby.
there. Yeah. So you definitely carried there. So
yeah.
Oh boy. Well, that the adrenaline rush. I haven't done that in a while.
I know. It feels good.
So what were your, not that you're, I don't know if you're necessarily a stats guy, but how many kills did you get there, or eliminations? Like,
I think I was around 5.
Yeah. Yeah, You definitely carried there. So what was the strategy there at the end? If we could just back that up. So we had two people up in like a tower. You kind of pushed on the left side. They had to come in because their ledge was out of the circle, right?
Yeah, I noticed that they really weren't pushing us, so they weren't exactly a threat. They were just kind of on more of a defensive, and so they kept peeking at you, so left you up there to just kind of bait it a little bit.
Cannon fodder, yeah.
And I moved around over to the spire where they didn't see me, and then they both came down, and when I engaged, you moved over, and it was a good push.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good call on your part, because they just kept knocking our little tower down, and so that's the interesting duos dynamic, especially. I would assume most people playing duos, though, they know each other, right? Sometimes you'll jump in with a random person, but
yeah, I never play with a random. I just don't like doing the randoms at all. One, I'm kind of a despite the fact that I stream, I'm kind of a shy guy when it comes to new people.
Yep.
And so I don't really feel comfortable doing that. The other thing is sometimes it can get kind of toxic. I've seen what can happen, like when my son plays a random, but he typically plays with his friends all the time. So I have a group of people that I routinely play with, and those that I get to know a little bit better for the duration of the stream. Occasionally I'll pull them in. I'll do things like supporter games and things like that. It gives me an opportunity to get to know some people and run with them on a regular basis.
So I mean, so it's you're making new friends along the way and things like that. So now, what are some other? You mentioned Sea of Thieves. What are sort of some other games that you'd recommend besides Fortnite, Sea of Thieves?
Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone is very popular right now. Although I would, as a parent, I would preface that it can get a little violent. But that's also very popular. Minecraft, believe it or not, still has a huge following. It's several years old, and it's more of a building kind of adventure game. But there's a lot of viewership. It's interesting. You go to either Facebook Gaming or Twitch and see what games are being streamed, and you'll see what's popular. So there's these streaming platforms are providing these great opportunities for people to create content. And I know, having been around Concord TV a long time, there was always sort of this mindset that you had to go to a studio to do a show, right?
Yep.
And now the media and the technology is evolving, and it's awesome seeing Concord TV sort of adapt to that and say, hey, look, we can continue to be a media resource for you, but look at these new tools where you can just like do this in your own living room, you know, and connect that way.
Yep. Exactly, and the pandemic forced some of that by necessity.
Absolutely.
Which, I mean, there were things we were talking about doing anyways, but during the pandemic, trying to get people, okay, you're going to record a show on your laptop, and we're going to record the Zoom session or, the Microsoft Teams session, whatever it is. So those people, they weren't, streaming necessarily, but the same concept where in your living room with a light and a microphone and a computer, it doesn't take too much to be able to make this happen. So,
and all the mechanics, of being a good producer or host, it's all the same, whether you're in a studio at Concord TV or you're in your own living room. You want to be engaging, you want to talk about something, you want to keep your viewers involved. So I think a lot of this, you get good at streaming, you're also getting good at maybe producing a studio show at some point. It all carries over. It's all very relevant.
Yeah, and I definitely get the sense, like, for practicing hosting skills, it's another form of public speaking. It's another form of presenting yourself well.
You do get better at it. Yeah. When you start the public speaking side, there are some people that are really nervous about it, but they want to do it. And then months fast forward, they're much more comfortable. They know what to talk about. They have fun doing it. So it's definitely something that for self-improvement, if you're looking to do public speaking or getting into broadcasting.
Just plug the Newt2Newt and sort of where people could check you out and where they can and find you.
Well, right now, I spent 2 years on Facebook Gaming. My page is still up over there. We built quite a following, but we've recently moved over to Twitch as well, so you can find me on either of those, but I'm typically streaming over at Twitch now. So twitch.tv/Newt2Newt, and you can find me there most afternoons. And happy to continue the conversation if we want to get into more of the nuts and bolts of things too.
I think there's a whole lot more that we can discuss and other collaboration opportunities. So I think this is great.
Absolutely. Well, GG's, buddy.
GG's and thank you. Yeah, this was great.